back to our channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anshula, and today I'm going to be taking you to Coas Books in New Mexico. Coas is the largest used bookstore in New Mexico. It is huge. This bookstore is situated in Las Cruces in this lovely downtown area. It's also an hour away from White Sands National Park. White Sands is one of my favorite national parks in the United States. It is so otherworldly when you visit. It is this blanket of white. I'll link an article down below about it, but this is one of the most beautiful, ethereal places I've ever been to. It literally looks like a winter's day, and even if it's 100 degrees hot outside, it still feels like this wonderful, ethereal, magical winter wonderland. And you'll see people sledding down little parts of the dune, and it's just one of those places that when I went to see it, I was like, oh my goodness, this place is real, and it left me with that what a wonderful world feeling. I do know that White Sands is a popular national park in the Southwest, so if you're planning on visiting the Southwest and you have the time, or you're staying overnight in Las Cruces, I highly recommend checking out this bookstore because it is huge. It is so big. It is a mammoth of a bookstore. There are over 500,000 books in this bookstore. There are over 500,000 books. I cannot physically wrap my head around that number. There are just too many books. I can't even picture a stadium that size with a book in each seat. It is so big. You kind of see that as you're walking through it because there's shelves and shelves and shelves, and you go into these little corners that are like dead ends that are just filled with more shelves, and then you come out and there's another dead end with just more shelves, and then there's these little rooms that are just completely filled with shelves. Where does this end? And so you're constantly kind of going in and out and in and out, and there's just so many bookshelves, and they're all just packed with books. This bookstore is just fit for endless exploration, and I absolutely loved it. I'll let you guys peruse the shelves for a little bit, and then let's talk about the books that I got.
I'm slipping away, so don't let me go now. Your love is exceptional. It fills me up. It's out of control, out of control. Oh baby, I love the rush. It overflows. It's out of control, out of control. I'm in love.
The first book I picked up was Laughing Without an Accent, the sequel to Funny and Farsi. I read Funny and Farsi for the first time, I think, last year. Both of these titles are penned by humorist Firouzeh Dumas. They're officially memoirs, but Laughing Without an Accent takes the shape of a loose-fitting essay collection peppered with jokes that are more pointed and direct and situational. I'll admit I enjoyed Funny and Farsi a lot more than Laughing Without an Accent, but there's something about Firouzeh Dumas' storytelling that still draws me towards her works. I think I only have one book left on her backlist, and that is a middle grade that I'm still really excited to read. Firouzeh Dumas' books aren't for everybody. She has what I would term immigrant humor, which suits me just fine since I'm an immigrant. So even though there's a generational gap between me and Dumas, every sentence in Laughing Without an Accent had a rhythm that danced in tune to my own experiences. And so I found a lot of this book, and I also found a lot of Funny and Farsi intensely relatable. I could feel the weight and the movement of the words. So if you're not an immigrant, Laughing Without an Accent might come across as trite because the writing is not the most groundbreaking. The memories that Dumas shares might come across as merely amusing anecdotes, but to me they are so much more, and so that is why I really enjoy her books and why I wanted to add this one to my collection. Much like Funny and Farsi, Laughing Without an Accent is about Dumas' experiences as an Iranian immigrant in America. It's about growing up in the United States and balancing a world that seems so different inside your home and a world that seems so different outside. The book gently touches on topics like shared humanity, Iranian hospitality, and the immigrant experience. It has a very casual tone. I felt like I was listening to an older, wiser friend There are digressions aplenty in this book. I will say I was slightly disappointed that Dumas' father didn't appear in this particular book as much as he did in Funny and Farsi. I felt like he was really the heart of Funny and Farsi. His actions, the way Dumas characterizes him, just really was the soul of Funny and Farsi and was what propelled me to read it all the way through. I didn't really feel like that in Laughing Without an Accent, and I think that was because of the notable absence of his character. Dumas' father was definitely a spotlight stealer in the best way possible in the first book, and I found his attitudes, his philosophy, his approach to life just refreshing and intriguing. Dumas' father was just so full of heart. He's just very easy to love despite his actions, despite the way he goes about things, which often come across as comical, and I felt like that heart was missing from this essay collection. But overall, I still really enjoyed this book. It was a solid 3-star read for me. I felt like Funny and Farsi was the trunk of the story, and Laughing Without an Accent was the branches and the leaves. I also picked up a children's book from Coas. At the time I visited, I was obsessed, like all weekend, binging obsessed with Only Murders in the Building. I had just finished watching the last episode of the first season, and I was so obsessed. This is a dark comedy, cozy mystery series starring Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez, and it is brilliantly written and directed. The show follows a trio of true crime aficionados who met by chance and investigate a murder in the building, hence the name, hence the title. And one of the characters, Mabel Mora, played by Selena Gomez, mentions her personal attachment to the Hardy Boys. At some point in the show, I don't remember which episode, there is a reference to Shore Boat. So when I caught the title of this book in Coas Books, I knew it was meant to be. It was happenstance, but there are so many times when something I watch inspires me to pick up a book, and this was one of those times. So I picked up the Shore Road mystery, not knowing that most of the Hardy Boys mysteries take place on Shore Road, or not remembering. I think I've read 1 or 2 Hardy Boys books in my youth, and I don't remember any of the plot lines or any of the stories, so this felt like a completely new experience for me. The Shore Road mystery is a juvenile detective mystery. After reading it, I realized I am way past the age to fully appreciate this book as a twisty adventure story with light humor, mostly from Chet. At the same time, this book allowed me to relive my childhood a little and reminisce. I loved Nancy Drew growing up, so this felt like a token back to my youth. But realistically, this book is now just a memento of my obsession with Only Murders in the Building. I look at the Shore Road mystery and I'm like, that was the point in my life when I was really obsessed with that show, and that show just consumed me completely. Season 2 is coming out soon, and I'm so excited for it. I am so intensely excited. Words cannot contain how excited I am for this. But this book is also a reminder of my trip to Las Cruces, and I pass through Las Cruces quite often, but I never popped into Coas until recently, and so after book shopping, we kind of walked around for a bit, and we eventually grabbed a drink, if I recall correctly, from Beck's Express. Yes, Beck's Coffee was born over a decade ago as Rebecca Beck Brosnick's labor of love, a roasting and delivery service that's since grown up and changed hands. But the name stuck, and so did the quality of the coffee, so expect drinks that are just really strong and really sweet and really, really good. The Main Street Outpost Beck's Express is a little different from the official roasting house and creamery. The menu is smaller, it's more limited. I got the honey lavender matcha latte hot with vegan milk. This was the best matcha latte like I've ever had in my life. I am forever indebted to Beck's barista for this recommendation. It was so good. If you're visiting Las Cruces and wondering where to eat and drink, I have a full list of food recommendations on the blog. I'll link it in the description box below in case you're interested in checking that out. But let me know what you're currently reading. It has been a while since I caught up with you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!
I'm slipping away, so don't let me go.